Hi, I'm Sil Reynolds.
And I'm Eliza Reynolds. And this is We Thrive TV. On-the-go answers from the ultimate mother-daughter dynamic duo.
That would be us. And every other week, we're here with you, Mom, to answer your questions. And this week, we have a big question that a lot of you ask a lot of the time, which is, how do I talk about sex with my daughter?
Whoa, yes, we're going there because we think it is so important. And even though this topic can bring up some awkwardness or some discomfort for a lot of people, stick with us because this is so urgent to a girl's healthy development, to a healthy relationship to her body. And so, what are we talking about when we talk about sex, right? You know, sometimes definitions of sex can get all over the place. And what we're really talking about is very general terms. Anything to do with sexual desire, sexual contact, sexual actions, irregardless of genders or sexual orientation. It's really about when sexual feelings start to come up for the first time and we're first starting to think about making, sexual contact with each other, etc. It's like we want to talk about all of that, nothing excluded.
Yeah, and hopefully even before sexual contact or sexual feelings come up, that this would be part of the, uncharged kind of discussions.
Natural.
Yeah. Some of the best research about how our kids do around this issue of their sexuality and negotiating it and feeling it and talking about it are that in the places and in the countries, specifically some Scandinavian countries, where it's just part of the culture that it's natural to talk about it from a young age. It's like
in school systems, in some places.
Yeah, in the educational system, and I know there's a lot of controversy about that in this country. However, whatever you decide as a family and what your values are, I want you to know the research, that the more our daughters know the facts, know about the feelings, know that they're natural, the safer they're going to be. Actually, the later they get sexually involved in intimate relationships, which might otherwise, if they were too young, be over their head.
Yeah, so the more they know, usually the more they delay making choices to become sexually active. So I have some news to break to you mothers. I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to get real, which is that I'm 25. I was not so long ago in middle school or high school, and I work with thousands of preteen and teenage girls. Okay, deep breath, moms. Sex is happening. It's happening younger than you may think it is. That means it could be oral sex, it could be, digital stimulation, it could just be conversations about it, it could be access to porn, but this is happening. More and more, it's becoming a cultural norm in peer groups. And if it was happening 10 years ago, for me, the trends really do tend to rise as we have more access to internet, and the culture is really changing around that. So this is, again, not to get you scared, but have you to get on it. We can't wait on this. We need to be having these conversations. We need to be getting more educated and working with what is sometimes uncomfortable. And so I want to say is that if you do feel a little bit awkward about talking about sex, maybe like your own relationship to sex is like, it's kind of private.
And your sexuality.
And it's kind of intimate. That it's okay if you feel awkward. We can still have conversations while we feel awkward at the same time. Breathing really helps. But it is courageous. It is courageous to have conversations about things that perhaps your mom did not talk to you about. If it wasn't normal for you, if maybe it even still isn't normal for you to have open conversations with your friends about sex, then this is a really new step. And you can be really proud of yourself for starting to talk about this.
Yeah, and that's really helpful, Eliza. And I have 2 points. In the workshops that we teach, I hear you again and again when you come in and talk to the moms saying this. And the moms are always surprised and to some extent, right, and really appreciate the reminder that they need to be on this earlier than they realize. That their daughters aren't naturally going to come up to them and say some of the stuff they're seeing or have been exposed to. That's really they're in over their heads. And We adults need to be involved. We need to find out what they're learning, at least in the sex education at school, what books are available that we could share with them. And I know also, moms, you're wondering, well, I'd like to talk to my daughter about sex and all the different variations and attractions and the hormones and the this and the that.
And the intimacy.
The intimacy, the safety, the readiness, but she doesn't want to talk to me. And so, don't feel bad about that. If she doesn't want to talk to you, if she's saying, Mom, no, this makes me too uncomfortable to talk to you about that, then that's the way she rolls. And you guys got to make an agreement about, okay, that I want to bring you to a gynecological nurse practitioner so you can talk with her about it. I want to make sure that you read this book. Whatever it takes to make sure your daughter's getting the information.
That's so beautiful. I love that. Like a mom really showing up to make sure her daughter has the resources, even if it's not the right next step for their relationship, to really have a one-on-one conversation getting into the details.
And your daughter might surprise you. At first she's going to say, no, never, I'm never going to talk to you about this. And then you give her the books, you find a women's health provider who can talk with her and answer her questions. And then you're driving in the car and all of a sudden she says, Mom, I have a question. And,
have you ever had that happen?
And so just keeping that open. And Mom, I know it might be a big leap for you. My mother didn't talk with me, and I had to learn a lot and get comfortable with this conversation in order to talk to Eliza about it. So lots of room here, moms, for you to take this at your own pace, to be really compassionate with yourself about your own comfort level or not comfort level. And this is where the village comes in to help us raise our daughters and give our daughters the information they need to have a happy, healthy sexuality.
And what I'll confess is this, in case you're holding any fantasy that my mom and I had like really easy conversations about sex when I was a teenager, I like freaked out and pretty much hid from my mother the first time she brought up sex. So it's a journey, it's a process to us now finding a more and more comfortable way to connect and talk about it. And I promise your girl does have questions. She has so many questions, and she really wants to know. So it's finding those steps, step by step, to what's the right way for you guys to move forward.
Now, moms, over to you. This is when we connect with the mothering and daughtering tribe, and the collective wisdom totally rocks it. I know you want to find your people, and you can give us your take. We really want to hear from you.
And so what we're wondering with this episode is, are you able to share with your daughter about sex and sexuality? And if not, if it's a little bit new, how are you educating her in other ways and making sure that she's getting the information she needs?
Head over to the blog. We really want to hear from you on this one so much. Just go to the comments section below.
Did this video help you? Share the love on Facebook or tweet it out.
Whatever platform you can wrap your head around, Mom.
Because sharing is caring, and everyone could use a stronger bond.
So Mom, when in doubt, and this is a tough one, right? Talking about sex, you got this, you got this. You're gonna get your tribe of mothers together and the resources you need to thrive and not just survive through the preteen and teen years regarding sex and sexuality. And you so got this, and we're so looking forward to hearing from you.
And we'll see you the week after next on We Thrive TV.
Can't wait.